What's up? What's up? What is up live from the Middle Coast? That's right. I just, because of all of this description about the Middle Coast, I had to come visit my man. I'm here in Chicago.
Let's do it.
So we aligned. So we started the show a little later, but we still in the building. You know what it is? It's the Ball Hawk Sports Talk. It's a Friday, is when we get together and record the experience, the excitement, the coverage, the sports, the business, and the entertainment that is known as the Ball Hog Sports Talk. There's two of the three of us in the building today. We are guaranteed to bring you something that's going to be fresh, something that's going to be exciting, exhilarating. Today's episode is going by the title of Freestyle. Now, my man Big Flo Show and I have done some freestyle episodes where we just get onto a hot 16, but freestyle is something a little different. It's one of the few things in life that is free because water is no longer free.
Nope.
As I just found out in this hotel. $8 hotel water. Even oxygen sometimes seems like they're going to charge you for it. Everything is charged and upcharged on a flight these days, but style is the one thing that remains free. So today's episode, we're going to talk about that. This is our last Friday of Mental Health Awareness Month. And the reason that we chose this topic on this day is because there's a lot of people dealing with a lot of things. Your style, you don't have to pay anything for it. You don't owe anybody an explanation for it. It's the one thing that's yours. And mental health awareness, really, the entire month, right, is because it's of an ongoing effort, right, to reduce the stigma around mental illness and mental health conditions. As everyone shares their experiences, and we all want those of us struggling with mental health issues to know that you are not alone. You are not alone. Freestyle, your style that you completely own, that you don't have to pay anything for, that you don't owe an explanation to anyone about, is the topic today because a lot of the mental health issues that we see, especially in our young people, come from the images, come from the representations that are on social media. So, in honor of all the young people struggling with mental health issues, we want you to know that your style is free. Who you are, who you decide to be, doesn't cost you anything. You don't owe anybody anything about it. We're going to hop into some other free style moments from sports, business, entertainment. So you know what it is. It's the Ball Hog Sports Talk on a Friday morning. Happy that you are with us. We are honored that you gave us your time. And we going to make sure that we honor that time by giving you some rough, rugged, and raw sports, business, entertainment. Two of us are in the building. Fasten up your seatbelt because with no further ado, let's go.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, and stay woke. Cause this is the Ball Hog Sports Talk with your boy, B Brown, ESQ, aka the Ball Hog, aka the Mouth of the South. This is the place where sports, business, and entertainment collide. And we're gonna give it to you rough, rugged, and raw. So come get you a spoonful, like some grits with butter and salt. You know how we do it in the South, y'all. Make sure you do not get caught in your feelings. Strap on your seatbelt and enjoy the ride. Come on, let's go, 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 go.
Once again, it's on. Once again, it's on the microphone. Because today's episode is freestyle. Y'all don't need the introduction, but I'm going to give you the introduction as soon as he gets his equipment right to my guy. We're dealing with some technical difficulties as I still struggle with this idea that I got to pay somebody $8 for a bottle of water. It don't make me cheap. It's just principle. Because there's very few things that are left in this world that are free. This is water, y'all, and I'm about to pay $8. I guess that's Chicago pricing. You know who the Middle Coast guru himself, the man, the myth, the legend, thou who should be intergalactically known and respected as the Big Flow Show's in the building. What's up, my brother?
Nothing, man. I gotta apologize. You know, our water is unionized, right? So they gotta pay union dues on the water. So you're gonna pay by the sip.
Man, I am sick about this that I got to pay all this money, but they got me because I was out all night with a particular person um,
We had a
who
great time last
y'all
night.
know as Big Flow Show. But we had us a good time, man.
Man, we
It's
had the
always
best time.
good to be able to see friends. And because we see each other on this platform every week, we forget that we don't actually see each other. But it
Yeah.
felt good to be in person with you, my
Yeah.
brother.
A couple days in a
Do
row.
an in-person show. I was gonna come to your house this early in the morning, but I felt like I didn't want to disrupt your house even
You
more.
could have.
Yeah.
The baby girl at school and wifey's in Florida. So
Oh, yeah.
it's
She
just me and the
living the life,
dog, and I
man.
got the dog in the cage, so I'm chilling.
All right, well, next time I'm in Chicago.
Next time, I made a couple scrambled, a couple eggs, and
Yeah.
some toast.
What I have noticed though about this mental health awareness month, because I do spend an ample amount of time on social media, is that there are a lot of young people struggling. I know you've got two teenagers, young and old, but the old people, I'm not qualified or educated enough to help them with their problems. Um, what do you see in terms of social media with your two kids or their friends, and how, in terms of mental health, do you think it's impacting them? And this is on the spot. You didn't know this was coming, but this is Freestyle Friday. So, as you think about the depictions, the images, how it impacts their daily lives, how it impacts almost every second of their day because they're consumed with it. You have a daughter, which girls are even so. I have been told
More
I haven't,
susceptible.
but seem to be even more impacted a lot of times by some of the social media commentary and depictions and images. What would you say, man, as you see it in 2023? I'm happy we didn't have social media, but have you seen any examples of how it impacts the young people that you are around?
I mean, people. We never go 2 years without somebody that my kid knows that kills themselves. Um, horrible ways. Kids from basketball team, stepped in front of a train and
Oh my gosh.
throw himself. Some kid threw himself from a bill. I mean, we have a lot. I mean, to me, a lot. I don't remember when I was in high school anyone doing it. Maybe one, but
Right,
now it's like since junior high, just keeps happening. It keeps happening. It keeps
right.
happening. So I don't think that they're numb to it, but they're used to it. But the problem is it's somewhat normalized, and I hear about it, and I always tell my son, "Hey, look, if you're gonna kill yourself, shoot me first, because you're gonna kill me slowly. I'd rather you kill me quick,
Mm.
because I'm gonna die, right? And I just want to let you know that." And he's like, "Man, I'm not gonna kill myself. Shut up, Dad." Like I'm like, "All right," but you know what? I think
And I
most
only
of
laugh because only you could broach that topic and still make it funny. Like you got a wit about you, but I'm sure your son, every time he says it, like,
man,
what
it's
are you talking
heartfelt
about?
because I'm like, Dad, I just want him to realize how painful it is for the
Yeah,
parents, like to understand, like if you love me at all, let's figure this out, man.
right,
And like when you talk to somebody who's not in any way, shape, or form thinking about that, they
right.
look
They're
at you
like,
like you're
why would
crazy.
we even be
What
talking
are
about
you? Shut up! What are you talking to me
it?
about?
Right,
I'm not. But I don't care. I'd rather just be the weird dad that's overthinking stuff because you know we've got teammates who've lost their kids to suicide. We've
yeah,
had kids that teammates whose kids have lost teammates who's lost their kids to illness. It's just the saddest thought in the world to see it, and some of these kids that have killed themselves, I've known, and
right,
I never would have known. You never would have known they're suffering. People go through these mental health things, you never really know it. So COVID impacted them, I think, greatly. And you know what? My son's personality changed during COVID. Now he's back to pre-COVID, but for a while he, became more of an introverted kid, and you just don't know how it affects him. So
right.
it's unfortunate. It's very fortunate that we're talking about it more, but I almost feel like, and I'm not an expert, but I almost feel like we talk about it so much and it comes out so much that almost I don't want to say we're planting seeds in people's head, but it
You're damned if you do, damned if
suicide
you
is an
don't.
option for these kids. A
Right.
lot of these kids, suicide is an option.
It's damned if you do, damned if you don't. It's like we talk about the crazy person that decides to run onto the field in the middle of the game, attention seeking, or maybe they're trying to protest in some manner, but the networks have decided not to air it because it then encourages other people to take that drastic step in order to get the attention that they seek, whether it's from a protest or whether it's just they really are just attention seeking. And so at times when we're talking about mental health awareness and, the rampant suicides within the teenage community, yeah, you're like, all right, well, maybe we just shouldn't talk about it because it's like damned if you do and damned if you don't, because there's a lot of people that are struggling in plain sight and we don't know that they're struggling. So it has been an interesting month. The awareness part of it is to allow those who are struggling to know that they're not alone. The awareness part is to take the stigma away from it. And so for this last Friday in May, I wanted to make sure we made particular mention of it and encourage people to continue to seek the help that they need. And yeah, that's wanted to start there because I think people, unfortunately, my man Glasscar said, damn, you fired ETP. Now, ETP is gallivanting around the world. But wanted to start the show there. And since we are there already, on another somber note, how do we not start this show? Thank you, Alvin Miller said the show is great. How do we not start this show on this particular Friday by saying rest in peace and giving a moment of silence for Jim Brown. Jim Brown not only was a phenomenal running back, phenomenal athlete. We celebrate him in his NFL accomplishments, but he was also a phenomenal lacrosse player at Syracuse. Jim Brown, unfortunately, died this week. And so want to make sure that we take a very brief but meaningful moment of silence for the great late Jim Brown. When you talk about freestyle, Jim Brown did it his way. We know that on the field, he ran like no other. But off the field, he also did it his own way. Outspoken, he was an activist. He was unapologetic for being proud in his Blackness in a time that people wanted you to just shut up and play ball. He did anything but shut up and play ball. He has been in movies as an actor. He's done it all, man. He did it all, rather. And so shout out to Jim Brown, the late, great Jim Brown. We also lost another great in sports, business, and entertainment, and Tina Turner. And I know that a lot of people have made jokes about the Ike and Tina and domestic violence, but Tina Turner was a champion of different proportions and how she was able to overcome the adversity, overcome the domestic violence, overcome the challenges in her career. So we lost two great ones, man. Tina Turner was just, talking about style. Her style was impeccable. The hair, the mini skirts that she would wear sometimes, and the dresses that she would wear sometimes were a bit cutting edge in her era, but she did it unapologetically as well. Her amazing, I can say this. Yeah, it's not, God rest her soul, but she has some amazing legs, man. She would show off those legs and amazing voice. And to lose both of them in the same week is tragic, but also reminds us that life is short. And so you celebrate the things that are free, like style. But wanted to pay homage to both of those. So let's also take a very brief moment of silence for Tina Turner. The internet's undefeated, so they already got pictures of Ike Turner waiting on her in heaven. Like, literally, people that's got to be too soon. But sometimes we laugh to avoid from crying. So let's hop in though. Sports, business, entertainment, bro. I've set the foundation for what we're gonna do today. Freestyle. So one thing is free, man. I know you're the type of style guy that What would you describe your style as?
Shabby chic. No, I don't know. Always
shabby
casual.
chic. What's shabby
Always
chic?
casual.
Always casual.
Casual.
Yeah.
I got every color t-shirt. I got every color t-shirt they make.
There you go.
Yeah, not always out for shorts.
Always out for shorts. I'm really wrestling with the idea of paying $8 for this water, man. Anyway, you always out for shorts.
Get yourself like a $2 sip.
$2. Put a little bit in my hand for
another $2 swallow.
What in the world would you say is, because we had a conversation yesterday before we hooked up. He was like, "Hey man, what kind of dress is it?" So you say shabby chic is your defined style.
I don't even know what that is. I just like the way it sounds.
I just like the way it sounds. I would describe my styles all over the place. It depends on the day of the week. I do like hats, but I also do like to be casual. I also like to dress up.
Yeah, I think I saw you yesterday, 2 days ago, with a sexual chocolate T-shirt and a blazer.
I got the same shirt on. Sexual
no.
chocolate.
My bad. I didn't mean to put you out there.
No. That's all good.
There's no smell cam because that thing.
There's no smell cam.
2 days on it.
Yeah, no, that's the same shirt. It was either that or go shirtless. I'm at the end of my 2-day packing, so I figured y'all don't want to see me out here with no taco meat showing from my chest.
Taco meat is
I had to.
You know how I feel about Kevin Durant's head. I don't want to see taco meat on
I had to hit reset. In terms of style, when it comes to the NBA, I gotta say that I am impressed to hop into sports business entertainment. I'm impressed with the Celtics and their decision, because that's basically what it was, their decision to fight back. You have two different styles of teams when they are facing elimination. You have different styles of players when facing elimination. And we're going to get to the second style. But when on the brink of...
Here we go, this long, drawn-out setup.
Oh, you knew I was going to you knew I was coming for you. But I'm not there yet.
Okay.
I'm not there yet.
I'll be here. I'll be ready when you come.
You'll be ready when I come? But the Celtics style was to fight back. They were on the ropes. They were down and out. The referee had counted 2 and was getting to the third count to pin them. And they found that Hulk Hogan strength, and they have bounced back. Largely because of some really poor shooting in Game 4 at home. Miami shot the ball very bad. And then in Game 5, you got to give credit to the Boston crowd, the energy there. Unfortunately, Gabe Vincent got hurt, so there's another person out of the Heat lineup. But the Celtics chose to fight back, man, and they deserve credit.
Excuses.
They deserve credit. I got to give credit where credit is due. Now, Gabe Vincent being out was a difference last night, but the Celtics won the game. It wasn't.
Does he average 20?
No, but he hits big shots.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at his plus minus, he's a big deal. I'm not gonna make excuses of why they lost. They lost Game 5. This is more about the Celtics than it is about Miami, because the Celtics were reportedly having some turmoil within their locker room. The Celtics were in a situation where they had this young coach that was being questioned by all the pundits on television, and being questioned by former players, and being questioned by the Celtics fans. And they decided to fight back on behalf of their coach. And from a style perspective, you got to give them credit. I don't know what you've seen over the last 2 days, last 2 games, rather, in terms of the Celtics, but we got to give them credit where credit is due. What say you?
I don't know. I mean, the real Celtics are starting to stand up. I'm hoping that the Heat win. You know, I want to see this. I like to see Jimmy Butler go ahead and get one. I mean, not to say that I don't know that they're going to do much against Denver. I had to say that's going to be a little scary. But I like the Jimmy Butler story right now. Let's see what he's doing. Sometimes I think the better you do, guys like that do, the more Chicago can get out their own way and stop getting rid of our great talent and put him all, letting it go. But no, I think it's a good story. I don't dislike the Celtics anymore. This team doesn't bother me too much, but I think the real Celtics are standing up. Their backs against the wall. So everyone said you can't do it. They have nothing to lose, and they're just playing the way that they're supposed to have played the whole time. So I don't know if it's as much of a meltdown on the Heat as it is. I think the Celtics are doing what they should have been doing the whole time.
Right. I have to admit that on paper the Celtics look like the better team. I have to admit that in terms of just in the Eastern Conference, the Celtics were the better team. But even on paper, simply the best. Shout out to Tina Turner. My man Lionel said, "Ike ain't in heaven." That's funny.
Nah.
Chances are Ike ain't up there.
Nah, player.
Yeah.
If she sees him, she's gonna be like, "Damn."
I can't believe he got in. But some of the memes are just hilarious. The internet does not waste time at all. But the truth of the matter is, despite them being the Celtics being the better team on paper, despite them being seeded much higher going into the playoffs, despite them being the odds-on favorite by every odds maker, they were on the ropes and they could have tapped out. They didn't have an answer for Miami for some strange reason for 3 games. And somehow, some way, they have bounced back. Jason Tatum Jaylen Brown seemed to be getting along just fine. Their young coach didn't seem young and inexperienced in game 4 and game 5. We'll see whether or not that holds true in game 6. But it says something about the team that they were able to fight back. What you do in the midst of adversity, when we're talking about freestyle, your style of responding to the adversity, your style of overcoming the challenge. Celtics, man, shout out to them for a young roster, because people were talking about breaking them up. If the Miami Heat would have swept the Boston Celtics, all we've been hearing about is this a recipe to win a championship? And in 2 short games, that conversation, I think, has been silenced. Is that going too far? Or do you still think that they are on the ropes in terms of whether or not this nucleus, this core of players with this coach can get them to the promised land in the near future? If not this year, in the near future.
I mean, 7-game series supposed to pull out a lot, right? It went from the 5 to, well, at this stage always been a 7-game series, but it's supposed to prove a lot. And sometimes you're going to come up short. I think we're in this cancel culture. So we're too quick, I think, to be like, this isn't working. We're done. They have a good team. And if they break it up and have to start from scratch, they're a lot closer to winning with what they have today than they are if they decide to blow the team up, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to get to the Lakers in a little while where they blew a team up and brought things together and they made a decent run. But at the same time, when the going got tough, they didn't have that chemistry and they didn't have everything together. They could pull back and do what the Celtics are doing. So I don't know. I'm maybe add a piece, but I like their core. I think their core is solid. I don't see why you would break that up, in my opinion.
I mean, because we are in not only in a cancel culture, but we are in a you must win now environment in the NBA, especially. And this particular core, when I think of core, right, post Kyrie was the Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown era that was supposed to be, this group that was going to progressively get better. And they did that. But if they lose to this Miami Heat team without Tyler Hero, without Victor Oladipo, I'm assuming that Gabe Vincent will be back in the lineup. Fun fact by our stat guy. We got to bring our stat. We got to introduce everybody to our stat team. Big Bad Matt. But he says, he points out that the Miami Heat are 18-5 with Gabe Vincent as a playoff starter. So he did make a difference. But having said that, chances are, because it was just a right ankle, chances are he'll be in game. He'll play game 6. If the Miami Heat do what they should do, because no team in NBA history has ever come back from 3-0 or 0-3 rather. If they do what they're supposed to do, I fear that they're going to blow this team up, and I don't think that they should. I think it's a young coach that is young, and you have to learn on the job. He was thrown into the situation because of the infamous situation by Ime Udoka, but he wasn't primed for this job, so he's got to learn on the job. So I hope that they don't blow up the team. Now, let's get to what we all been waiting for. Drum roll, please, because there's another team that was facing the brink of elimination. Right? It was weird because in the NHL and in the NBA, you had 2 conference finals, Eastern Conference Final, Western Conference Final. In both leagues, there were teams that were going to sweep their opponent. There's 4 potential sweeps. Now, I don't know if there's some statistician out there can let us know if that's ever happened before. But NHL,
it would have been the first time.
It'd been the first time. But there was
LeBron did his part.
Here we go. So thank you for opening it up. Freestyle. How you respond to adversity, what you do, your grit, if you will. That's a choice. It's free. And you're telling me that you think LeBron did his job. Please explain.
No, I was saying he did his job in making history by being one of the teams to get swept. That's the job. You misunderstood me. He did his part. He helped history. LeBron's on the right and wrong side of history a lot. But no, in all seriousness,
Because but before you finish, I just want to make sure because I can't play it back.
I
But
need
I
coffee.
think what you told us
I
was
don't even drink coffee.
Lakers in 6 is what you said. And then when they were down
Did I say
0-3, you said Lakers in 7. And so I don't know if they're gonna keep playing. Maybe Lakers in 13 if they get a but I just want to make sure
That don't sound like nothing I would say. I said
no,
something like
you
that.
said it. No, it was you. It was your
I wasn't
voice.
sure. I don't talk
Yeah.
like that. I don't make predictions about
It
sports.
was a
Those
guy
things
who
knows?
was what would you call the style? Shabby chic. It looked just
Shabby
like
chic.
you. He had Biggie behind him. Biggie, give me one more chance. And he
Big, I
said
said that.
Lakers in
I said
6.
that.
That was you. So now
I was
explain
freestyling.
again what happened. Freestyle.
I was freestyling. You didn't give me a chance to write down my lyrics.
My bad.
So look here. I was wrong. I got caught up in the moment.
Uh-huh.
The Lakers had a great season, over a great postseason. They overachieved. They barely made the playoffs.
Would
they
you
were
call
like,
it a successful season? Because
no,
according to
I wouldn't
Giannis,
say no. They had an unsuccessful season, but they had an impressive postseason. Would you give me that? They were 11th seed with like a week left to go in the series.
I'll give you
in the
that.
season.
Yep.
They limped it. To be honest, if it wasn't for the Miami Heat killing right now, they would be talking about, I can't believe LeBron got them this far. But you got a team that lost the first play-in and had to win in overtime against Chicago to make the playoffs.
It
On
overshadowed
the verge of sweeping them. So now it's like, they're like, Siege Schmied. Who cares what seed you are? Just get the playoffs. But I think the Lakers, I don't, you know what? Big LeBron fan.
Mm-hmm.
I look at the whole totality of his career.
I couldn't tell. You're a big LeBron fan, man.
Just stop. I'm trying. Look, this is therapy for me. I need silence. I need you to keep quiet.
mental health awareness month. You know,
I'm trying to get it out.
Go ahead.
I'm trying to get it out.
Get on out.
But somebody, your boy, what's the guy that was the big bust?
Who you talking about? Kwame Brown.
Kwame Brown.
Yeah.
He uses a lot of language that is not for children, but those of you who are old enough and they can handle it, go listen to his rants. I don't want to play.
There's some good ones. There are some good rants.
But he did say
Kwame Brown. Tell him to call us. I would love to have Kwame Brown.
The one thing he said that's hard to argue is, how do you not get the shot off? Like, how do you?
No, he didn't just stop there. He's like Gilbert Arenas, who he's notorious for having a ongoing feud with. Gilbert would have got the shot off. Rip Hamilton would have got the shot off.
Oh, so you know what's funny? I didn't put that together that him and Gilbert Arenas had beef. So he's like,
they had beef. Yeah.
That's even worse.
Yeah, real beef. But he was just going through a list of people that he played with. Like they'll get the shot off. Now, to his credit, because he was a bust, he never said I would get the shot off.
But he didn't. Okay, so look, I was not an NFL football player, and I still have my comments on football. But do you feel like when you were the first pick in the draft and you're a complete bust, when they say top bust in NBA history, your name is on everyone's list, no matter how short the list is. You feel like you really could go after the king like that? He doesn't have a platform. He just goes live.
Here's where I'll say to people, like, to respond to you, I'll say this, because LeBron fans, I don't want to say fans. I'm a LeBron fan. I'm just not a sycophant. I'm not a disciple. I'm not worshiping the ground he walks on. And people who do, maybe that's too far. You don't worship the ground he walks on. But you know what I'm saying?
I feel like I'm getting lots of accusations today.
Self-proclaimed. And I wouldn't say that you're extreme, but there are some people who are extreme with their LeBronisms that put stuff out there for public consumption. And then when someone like me disagrees with it, like, no, I don't think he's the greatest of all time. Or, no, I don't think that you can be great and not get a shot off. When you put it out there for public consumption and I disagree, then I'm not a hater. I am just disagreeing with your point. And so I think what Kwame Brown was doing was that he was taking on all of the people that have spent the last several months talking about how great he is. He's 38. Mike never did this at 38. Like, when he surpassed that scoring record, it's done. It don't matter. Like, he was just taking on the people that have put out all of these notions and all of these theories for public consumption. And he was basically saying, greatness isn't about all of these posts and all of these opinions about a man. Greatness is what people do in moments like this. Disagree with him or not, I think that's what Kwame Brown was doing.
I feel Kwame on that. You're a superstar. Get a shot off. The funny thing is looking for the bailout. I was like, I don't think LeBron wants to go to the line. That's his worst part of his game.
Going to the line, needing to make both, that he wouldn't want that. Normally.
The and one. I don't know why he didn't just try to dunk on him. I don't know why he went so deep. It was bad. He got tied up. You know what, though? So you go back and forth every single the Jordan comparison. Do you think on that situation, honestly, the thing is people make it, I talk so fairly that it makes it look like I'm not a Jordan fan. I'm a humongous Jordan fan. You know what I mean? I got Jordan posters in other rooms in the house here. I have no LeBron posters. I can't put no little kid on my wall. But like I'm a Jordan fan. But realistically, you think that happens and Jordan they don't call a foul, even if it's not a foul?
It would have been tough to call a foul on that one. I mean, the part that here's what I would say.
Michael Jordan was too big to fail. Michael Jordan was the king of the world. Everyone wanted him to go. There's a video. People talk about LeBron flopping. There's a video I can show you where the ref asked Jordan if he was fouled and says, "I believe you." Foul. You can't find a video of that.
Was manipulated a little bit, but I know a video. Manipulated a little bit.
Who
from
manipulated?
A different context. The context was out of whack. I know the video you're talking about, but people will use it for something different than it was. It was a conversation.
There's no other way to spin it. A ref talks through it with him and calls a foul and says, "I believe you, Mike."
I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you the entire clip. I'll send you the entire clip. No need to debate it now. I'll send you the entire clip.
My point is yeah, I don't want to digress. LeBron failed in that moment. That was a moment for greatness.
Kwame basically said that Kobe would have looked that boy right in the face, went up and shot a three. Here's what I will say with those who are true LeBron
That'd have been a bad
haters.
decision for LeBron to do because it was broke as fuck.
That's what I would say. For the true LeBron haters, to be fair, for the game 2 and game 3, all of the heat that LeBron took was because they said he was shooting too many threes. Why don't he just drive to the basket? And so when it comes to these type of conversations with these level of players, you ain't gonna please everybody, right? The same shot that Kwame was alluding to that he suggests Kobe would have taken. That's what everyone was having issue with LeBron about, shooting threes. But when he got to the point, it's like, how you not get a shot off? Rip Hamilton would have got a shot off. Gilbert Arenas would have got a shot off. I gotta say, man, he made some good sense there.
He got a perk. He got a perk. He got a good point. But more importantly,
LeBron's
legacy can't be,
That's what was the next question. What is the legacy of this? He got swept. Does this impact his legacy? And I'm asking everybody within the sound of my voice, I'm asking you the same question. To be swept in the Western Conference Finals with so much on the line, does this impact LeBron's legacy?
So here's my problem. Okay. So very, very talented rapper behind me, Biggie, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very talented. I suggest everybody watch the Tupac Dear Mama.
Oh, yeah, we've been talking about the documentary. Yep.
Fantastic, right?
Mm-hmm.
Both of these young men were taken off this earth in their mid-20s, right?
Right.
So they're going to go down in history as two of the best rappers ever. The conversation will never stop because they're taken out in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
There's another rapper that was out there, not on their level, so relax. But take a guy like Ja Rule, right?
Mm-hmm.
Ja Rule was super hot. He's doing whatever, and then he wasn't. And whatever happened to him afterwards takes away from what was great. But we all liked him when he was hot, Right. But now the later craziness makes you look and say, I don't know, he's whack. So my point is, LeBron is playing so much further than everyone else has played, more seasons. And we can't say, hey, man, at age 38, this dude led a team to the conference finals when he was the 11th seed with a week left in the season. I mean, Kobe Bryant finished his season, they were trash. He may have put up 80 points or do whatever, go nuts, but his teams were trash.
60,
they weren't making
put up 60 in his last game.
60. They weren't making it to the playoffs. They're missing playoffs. Everyone say Jordan never missed the playoffs. Yes, he did. When he was LeBron's age, he played for the Wizards. They didn't make the playoffs. They were trash. So the thing about I always get frustrated about when I hear about the LeBron criticism,
they were trash. Go ahead.
He gets criticized, and you ignore the fact that he took this 11th seed team to the now before I go crazy, AD, a lot of people involved. LeBron wasn't like leading and it going crazy, whatever, but he's a big part of this team. Of their success, they went to conference final, and then they got swept by the 2. They should have been swept. The 8 seed's supposed to get swept by the 2 seed, right? They're supposed to get swept. They're not supposed to be there. They shouldn't have beat John them, right? They should have lost. They should have won any of the series. They were trash. They shouldn't have got in. They got in and they made it to finals, and now they got swept. So all we see is that they got swept, and that's all we talk about. We talk about the finals losses he had. Not the fact that he went to the finals 10 years in a row, unless you're a LeBron fan. We talk about it like making it to the finals means nothing. Right. Losing into the finals to the LeBron haters, losing in the finals is worse than not making the playoffs or not making it there. It's worse. You made it to the finals. You're supposed to win. You didn't win. You're trash. You're not the second best team in the NBA that year. You're trash. And that's the part of it that makes he got swept. That's embarrassing. The games were competitive as shit. They did lose all 4. They lost the last one by 2 points. Every one of them, even when they got blown out, they came back and made it a respectable game. Like yesterday, you were so excited because your team only lost by 10. But my point is, like, all these teams, all the success that he's had gets overshadowed by the fact that he hasn't the ultimate success. So now it was win a championship or bust. And then if he won a championship, it would have been, oh, well, this was a bubble hangover. All these teams was from the bubble. I don't know. I'm a LeBron fan. I don't think it hurts his legacy. He got swept. He's out there. He's out there fighting. He's putting up 30 points in the first half at 38 years old in a game where you could just pack it in and go home and did whatever. And last play, he didn't get a shot off. And that is, I could criticize it, but I can do a highlight tape of Jordan, a highlight tape of Kobe, of criticizable moments where you're mad about what's going on. But at the end of the day, LeBron got swept, so have at it. Talk your shit.
Here's my challenge with that, because I agree with everything that you said, and I think that there are people who, no matter what he does, will try to undermine his success. But if you can't compare apples to apples because LeBron is in a league of his own in terms of having so much influence on the roster. Yes, they were 11 seed. Yes, they did a pivot and about face, and they recovered and made the most out of the season. All of that is true. But you can't say that without saying, yes, they made a complete change of their roster in order to do it. He is playing with a Hall of Famer and Anthony Davis. He went and got an all-star, D'Angelo Russell.
Trash.
Probably one of
trash.
D'Angelo Russell's all-star. Fair. You can call him trash, but you can't say that he was never.
And what's his name? And Jimmy Buckets was not.
Neither one was this year. But I'm saying he has made an all-star game. He's been a max deal guy. He's still. Initially, when the trade was made, everyone was happy because they got rid of Russell Westbrook. My point is this, man. Austin Reeves is probably going to be the breakout player of the year. You had Hachimura. You got Dennis Schroeder.
Hachimura is the man. They need to sign him to a long
You got Vanderbilt. There was a roster of players that when LeBron fans really want to pour on and talk about all the great things LeBron did and want to compare him to other rosters, you can't compare that to the Michael Jordan Wizards. You just can't. You just can't. The rosters aren't even in the same stratosphere. And so my thing in this moment is that you did all of this because it was a win-now situation for LeBron. You wanted to make sure you took advantage of having a healthy AD, which we know is not going to be something that happens often. And he came up short. So you got to take the good with the bad. I don't want to pour on when it comes to LeBron. I do think this should impact his legacy, just like him winning ultimately or taking the record, eclipsing the scoring title record, or most points all time. I think that should be a part of his history. You got to take the good with the bad, and his legacy will be impacted by this because the greats normally don't get swept. You can win one. You can win one. You know how I know? Allen Iverson won one against that Laker team. How does Allen Iverson beat the Laker team with freaking Kobe Bryant and Shaq on it, and you couldn't with Eric Snow? I don't even remember Aaron McKee. I don't even remember who else was on that team. But Allen Iverson, the answer in terms of style, and this is where people who disagree or dislike rather LeBron, it's about the style, right? It's about the style, and there is a lot of flopping, I would say. There was flopping in that series, and yet he came up short. He came up short, so it's part of his legacy. We shall see. He's talking about retiring. Do you think he actually retires? Is that all about nothing? He flirted with the idea when asked that he indeed would entertain the idea of retiring. Have we seen the end of LeBron? Because he said that basketball for him, if he can't go play it at a high level, if he can't play it in a meaningful way that is going to lead to championships, then he would rather not play it. And I didn't think that we would be talking about him retiring. I hope it won't be ongoing like freaking Tom Brady did forever and be drawn out. But yet we're here. We're talking about LeBron retiring, and it was not completely shot down by LeBron. What say you?
Again, as a LeBron fan, I like him, but I'm not one of those guys that's just going to always try to find the positive in everything somebody does. LeBron is spinning right now. He got swept, and he's glad to talk about retirement right now, and it takes the conversation. It makes, if we have 20 minutes allotted in the show to talk about it, we had to spend at least 5 not talking about the sweep and talking about the retirement. That's there. He ain't going no place. I think he wants to try to give his chance a chance for his son to play. And if his son is not going to be a one and done, which I don't think he will be, I think that he might retire next year. But I think he's going to at least give it one more season and see if his son could get in the league and he can be in the league at the same time as him. I think that's important to him. I think it would be really cool to see. I don't think his son is that good of a basketball player, but we'll see. We'll see what happens. I don't see him retiring. I mean, he's relatively healthy. I mean, if you think about his game,
they did say he was hurt, and I know that LeBron. It's just so weird. It feels like the days because you brought up Tupac and Biggie, East Coast, West Coast. It just feels like, like right wing, left wing. The conversation about basketball is so polarizing. Right. So now the LeBron fans are posting about his injury, and he opted not to get the surgery, and now he's going to get the surgery.
On what?
LeBron haters. I think
on his foot?
Yeah, his foot. The LeBron haters are saying that's just an excuse. There's got to be some middle ground, right?
Middle coast.
Did he opt not to get the surgery? Yes. Was he playing injured? Yes. Is that Herculean Superman-like behavior? No. 80% of the NBA is probably facing something in the playoffs.
Somebody's sore. Yeah, everybody, and every professional athlete, as we speak to you today, is sore.
Something hurt. They're dealing with something. They're opting not to get sick. Like that's just a part of the NBA. But I say it to say it's laughable. He did have the injury though, so I want to make sure I say that because that's worth mentioning, right? That he did have the injury.
The thing about LeBron that really, like, when you start thinking about him, like retiring. I don't know if he's putting as much time in the gym as he used to as far as like shooting, but like he is the opposite of the way you age, right? Mm-hmm. Like most old heads, you go get an old head right now and put him on the court that was a hooper and he got a burner still, right? Mm-hmm. LeBron lost his jumper completely, but he'll still block your shot and get 20 rebounds and dunk on you and take you to the
and make the best passes and be the most well-conditioned athlete out there because he did play every second. I think it took him out for literally like 5 seconds in game 4. So he did go down fighting.
How are you doing chase down blocks at 38 years old? How are you muscling to the hole? I mean, he should have got the shot off, but he had been getting to the cup and just getting a nice layup that can't stop him. That's not old man basketball. He's supposed to be out of the 3-point line with that one leg sticking it out real far. That's his little post-up move and then step back and shoot it. That's what he's supposed to be doing, and that's what he's bad at now. So, like, I feel like if LeBron worked on his shot, I mean, he'd be back to averaging 30 points a game. I don't know, man. I
Father
think LeBron
Time,
still got it.
man. Father Time's undefeated, and
But
I'll
he
say
doesn't
this:
look old.
he doesn't look old, but at looks can be deceiving. I'm assuming that his body, the recovery process isn't the same. I'm assuming that his interests at 38, as they delve more into extracurricular, off the court things, right? It's just it's a lot to balance when you have a lot. He's got a lot of blessings, man, and so we'll see. I don't think he's gonna retire either.
Then maybe
The
stop and
NBA,
watch his sons play. I don't know how old Bryce is, but like maybe it'd be nice for him to stop and
I
just
think Bryce is a sophomore, so what, 16, 17, somewhere.
maybe stop and just watch Bronny play, sit in the stands like be a dad for a while. That might be fun.
Look, who knows what he's gonna decide, but because he has established such currency, it'll be his decision. He's going to be free to make the decision. He'll walk away from the game on his own terms. Love him or hate him, he has earned that, and he deserves it. The NBA is talking about possibly allowing a free throw when it's been deemed that a player is flopping. I love the idea. I mean, you talk about styles, right? In this episode of Freestyle, the style of play now with all the flopping is feeling just oddly similar to soccer. When I watch the World Cup, I go from loving it to loving the athleticism and the patriotism from the different nations, and just the amazing skills with these guys dribbling the ball down the doggone field or the pitch, whatever you want to call it, to hating it because I'm watching them acting. I'm like, man, you're gonna get Oscars. The NBA is starting to do the same thing. I like the idea of them issuing a free throw, a technical free throw for someone that has been deemed a flopper. I just don't know how you would enforce it. Like, how do you?
In soccer, you can get a yellow card for flopping, but it's got to be outrageous. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, how do I know? Like, because the biggest one for me is when the guys come on offense, they extend the elbow and the guy goes flying through the air. But you know what? If you're going backwards and I tap you, you could fly. I don't know. It's too much. I would hate. First of all, I think they're stopping the game a little too much in basketball and reviewing stuff. It's like
it's slowing up the game. The style of the game has changed because
they've been getting a lot of stuff right. I see that the challenge in basketball has been really good, 50-50, I would say, handling of overturning the calls.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of good when you see someone didn't touch anybody. But at the same time, I don't know, it's kind of part of the basketball. You have to play to how they call the game.
Yeah, and I don't know how they're going to enforce it, but I thought that was interesting.
You only get one challenge, though, so I guess it's not that bad.
Yeah. The NFL, talking about rule changes, is now going to allow people to, if you fair catch.
I don't like this one.
You get the ball at the 25-yard line.
On a punt.
Which
I don't like that.
You don't like that?
Nah,
one of the kickoff. It's on kick return.
It's always that was college.
Yeah.
No, but on the punts, they're supposed to be doing something on the punts. And the punter got up and he was like, it's taking away strategy because, if you're in a late defensive battle and you're playing a field position game
mm-hmm.
and let's say you're on your 30-yard line, 35-yard line, whatever would be like kind of a hard field goal. And you're like, all right, I'm just going to punt this thing and bury him deep because we're playing a field position game. I don't like the fact that you could just fair catch it and get out to the 25. It takes away a very good aspect of coaching.
I didn't see that rule change. We're talking past each other now because I didn't see that one. I got to look at that.
I may have misread it because one of the kickers came out and he said something. And what I thought was,
that's probably because there would be no reason to. I don't see where they would change that rule. I got to look at it, but it was kick return. I didn't like the rule because on kickoff there were guys like I told you. My time in the NFL was brief, and while I was there, I was the 53rd and a half man. I was always one phone call away from getting that call from the Grim Reaper and being out of there. So it was moments that you had to seize, and the moments were special team moments. And kickoff was a way that you go earn yourself at least a paycheck that week if you went out and did something extraordinary. And let all the other teams see that you're willing to go and do whatever you need to do on special teams. So that's why I don't like it. because it's taking away the potential plays that guys who can run down on kickoff and make. It's taking away opportunities for those guys. So that's why I don't like it, but it just seems the style of the game. And you get why they are doing it. The NFL needs to show, by way of rule change, by way of procedure, by way of equipment, by way of everything, that they're making the game safer. That's the only way that they can maintain the liability. But having said that, you can't take all the risk and all the danger and all the physicality out of the game. The style of the game is changing. In this episode of Freestyle, the style of the game is changing. I get why they are doing it. I'm just not a fan.
I really like. Do you see the way the XFL handles kickoffs?
I saw it. Yes, I don't know what that's called, but they took the wedge out basically.
They took some of the distance from out. So what I like is, and I could be wrong. I'm going to give you a gist of it, but I could be a little off on some of my details. So excuse me. I think call it the 30-yard line. You have the blockers. Then at the 40-yard line, you have the defense. The kicker's still back at the opposite 35. Mm-hmm. He has to kick it in play. He has to kick it.
He can't move until he kicks it. I've seen it.
He can't move, but it has to. Well, just for those who haven't, he has to kick the ball within a certain yard marker, or it comes out. Like it automatically comes out. But what it does is it makes it so it's more like a regular defensive play than it is, or called offensive play, whatever you want to call it, than it is a kickoff, because you don't got guys running down with a 50-yard head start where they're going to take your knee out or blast you.
Yeah, it minimizes the overall collision. Right.
And then what I like, if you want to do, instead of doing an onside kick, which I like, it's like you get one play to go for it on 4th and 15, and if you get the first down, then you get the ball. I like that. I like it because the onside kick is so fluky. It's such if you really look at it, like what is that? That's just luck.
But so you don't think luck should be a part of the game?
I just like the idea of saying, if you want to do an onside kick, maybe 15 yards isn't enough. Maybe because if we're going to get the same statistics, you got to go for it on 4th and 20, and you got to make it, and then you get the ball. I would like to, because that's football. You know what I mean?
There's a kicker out there right now who's been practicing the onside, practicing the bounce of the ball and getting the backspin, who would hear this and he want to curse you out. Because
they changed the rules on that shit. Like, you couldn't kick it hard into the ground. You couldn't do this. You can't do that. I like to just see give him a chance to get the fucking ball. I like that shit. And then I'd like to see a team start doing it all the time. He go for it on 4th and 20 all the time and see if he gets it and see if he can't stop. Like, you get a juggernaut, you just roll over. I don't know. I don't think it's a bad way to look at it for the kickoff, but I don't like the fact that you can fair catch every kick. Like, my son's trying to be on kickoff team this year, and I'm like, why? You just like to do wind sprints? All they're gonna do is fair catch the kick. Right. So you're just gonna run down there and just run a sprint, get you some free plays towards your Letterman jacket.
Yeah, but your son probably wants to be on kickoff because of that same sentiment, right, that I had. It's your opportunity to show that you're willing to run through a wall for your teammates. It's an opportunity to show the coaches just how tough you are. It's an opportunity to pin them deep and change the field position, which essentially, from a strategy standpoint, is at the core of your advantage seeking. It's a field position game. And so if I can impact that by just going down there and being willing to take on a block, shed it, being willing to make a form sound tackle, and create a momentum play for my team, I've impacted the game. It's a lot easier to do in the sense that I don't need the offensive line not to hold. I don't need the quarterback to read defense perfectly and make the perfect throw after I run the perfect route. So it's easier in that sense, but it's a lot more difficult because not everyone's willing to do that. And
I get it.
They're penalizing by making this rule. They're penalizing the guys that are willing to go down and do that. Not everyone is. And so I can see why your son would want to do that. He wants to show that he's one of those guys that's willing to do it. Now,
I'm cool with him. I'm cool off this shit. Fair catch it. Just run down there, go tag him up, Reg. Be the first one tag.
So I would have got you. I understand where you're coming from too. in this episode of Freestyle, it's just interesting to see that the style of the game is changing. Also, the NFL OTAs, which is organized teamed activities. It's the offseason. The OTAs has some really strict rules, and the Patriots are stripped of 2 of their OTA sessions. Why? Because apparently they were spending too much time because of the coach's schedule. The Cowboys, Mike McCarthy came out and said, there will be no contact to avoid the fines, because there were fines. They said they were too physical in their organized team activities, their offseason OTAs. The style of the game, man, like making sure the players aren't spending too much time on the field, making sure that the players aren't engaged in too much contact. The style of the game, the rules with this new kick return rule and the fair catch. It's just, to reconcile that in a week where we lost the great Jim Brown, just the style of the game is becoming something different than the physical nature of football.
Facts.
And I guess that's on purpose. Do you think it maintains its same attractiveness? Do you think it maintains the same core audience? Do you think it maintains its prominence as the number one sport in this country?
I think
it's getting softer, I'll say.
I think
I don't want
back fans all the time. I mean, it's like the way that the country goes is interesting. In the same years that we're seeing this getting lighter and lighter, we had the slap league, right? Where you get up and smack the shit out of somebody.
Right. Or just UFC. Look at MMA, UFC is done. Like, you breaking there are compound fractures that happen regularly in UFC. Like, we see the best.
I mean, but again, UFC has gotten less barbaric than it used to be. Remember, it used to be no holds barred. You could punch people in the solar plexus. You couldn't bite. Biting was the only thing you couldn't do. But they had people, your style versus my style, no weight classes. People just trying to knock each other. And now it's like, okay, it's a sport. It's got a commission. It's sanctioned. People got to take drug tests. Like, they're doing things to make it a more civilized sport. Then you look at football. They're trying to make it safer, get the head out of the game, do whatever. Yeah. And then somebody says, I'll slap the shit out of you. Put money on it. And we come out there and got a thing where we smack the shit. You know what we should do for charity?
It would have been the hottest thing over the last several months if Dana White didn't slap his wife. The timing of that would have just been.
Nah, they took it off the air. They couldn't do it no more. I told everybody, and look, you heard it here first. I said, watch it now because it's coming off. This is terrible. Did you ever watch it?
I've seen clips of it.
They smack the shit out of each other. And then like they give you a standing 8 count. Like, the dude obviously gets smacked in boxing, any other thing, football, your concussion protocol, your whatever. They giving this dude 30 seconds to say he's good. Like, you good? You good? No, I'm not good. Did you see my eyes roll back?
And I'm in no position
to even answer the question.
Right.
I'm incoherent. And then dude will be right and come back. But I've seen him come back and smack the other dude and knock him out. I think, look, Ball Hawk Sports Talk is definitely for the people. Would you agree?
Yeah, we for the people, baby.
I think that we need to have me, you, and Ellis a slap tournament. Ellis got them big ass hands though and long arms, but we should do slap tournament.
It's cool. I just gotta go first. If I go first, you know what I mean? I'm good. I just can't.
I know people flip the coin and want to go second. I said, I got to go first.
I got to go first
because I need you to slap me after recovering from the smack that I gave you. But like, let's say you got up there, you went first, and you smacked the dude as best you could, and he was cool. Can you just say, all right, I quit? Because if I hit you with my best shot and you're good, I'm good too.
I'm quitting, no doubt. That's why I gotta go first. I'm tapping out. Like, we good, man. Go
okay, I quit.
You won the money, dog.
You're not done. I quit.
Yeah, I thought we was just playing. I guess we're not. But yeah, man, it's one of those situations where I look at these rule changes. We shall see, man. But to hear in OTAs, teams being fined for having the players out there on the field too long. Teams being fined because there's too much contact. It just, I don't know, man. And look, my sons both play football. Your son plays it. And some amazing young men that I know that play the game. And I want the game to be safer for them. But it just feels as though we are entering the danger zone when it comes to changing the the authenticity of the sport. You can't take all danger out of that sport. Just like you can't take all danger out of being a NASCAR driver. You can't take all the danger out of being a gymnast. You spend your whole life with all of that pounding on your body, you're going to have ligament damage. That's going to happen. Right? And it just seems as though because the NFL made the most money, because the NFL had the most high-profile lawsuit against it, and because the NFL sits still as the number one sport in this country, the powers that be are doing more. I think they're hurting it more than they're helping it by trying to put a Band-Aid on all of the litigious nature of the sport.
You have to look at NFL as a business and not as anything else. The only reason why they're doing it is to avoid lawsuits, avoid whatever. Maybe a quarter cup of image to try to make it seem like they care, but nobody cares.
Yeah, but even that, the image is sort of cousin to the liability.
Yeah.
Right. There's actual liability, and then there is the court of public opinion liability. So even the image part is more reputational risk of changing the image. Mm-hmm. Right. But the game itself, at the core of it, as a purist, as someone who loves the game and coaches the game of football itself, that's the part that I'm worried, man. The style, this new style, I think is maybe going too far. We're gonna hop in quick, man. WNBA, Brittany Griner. We celebrated her coming back. I watched the game of her debut, or her return, rather, to Phoenix. And they did this tribute, man, that was really touching. They did a tribute right before the game that was really touching. And again, I know the politics behind the story. I don't care what your politics are. I don't care what you think. For someone to be in a foreign region of the world that's hostile to this country and to be detained and not have a normal, due process that you would get in America, not knowing when she was going to go home, from a psychological standpoint, in this month, Mental Health Awareness Month, has to be daunting, has to be just feels like a 1,000,000-pound weight on your back from a mental standpoint. It was good to see that she was back. It was amazing to see the tribute, and I might have teared up a little bit, man. It was dope. But she had 27.
Boogers and stuff.
It was, it was just, my eyes were real heavy, man, because, and we've all had people that have, I don't say we all, I'll just talk about myself. I got family members that they know the penal system, my brother. They've been in that jailhouse, and, but that even seems light in comparison to being detained in a hostile region of the world, right?
How do you think you feel? Okay. She used to take a knee. She ain't take no knee anymore. She know a comfortable country over her face when she see one now. She come back. I respect her for that. You know what I'm saying? I respect her for that, because I'm sure there's some people out there like, oh, man, you selling out. Man, look here. I was in a Russian prison praying to be an American, and they came and got me. I'm sorry. Y'all going to have to kneel on your own. I'm back up in this joint. I can't do it. I showed y'all I was supporting y'all, and I took a knee. But not shit. You haven't got your dreads cut off and worked outside. I don't know what she was making, big rocks, little rocks out of big rocks. They work you in Russian prison. Is not like here. That's hard labor.
Right.
They put something on you. I bet you nobody could hold her in a post now. She probably strong as hell. So yeah, she came back. She she probably was like these. But
her patriotism on a whole new level.
She might get a tat on her face with the flag.
I ain't mad at it, man. Honestly, brother, to have experienced that, to lose any day in terms of your freedom, any day in your life, but to lose several months in a hostile region of the world, and then to become a pawn in a political game.
It has to feel good when they come get you, though.
Oh, man. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and her wife talked about it. It's just, again,
I've never seen her wife interviewed before.
She was a part of this tribute that was before the game. But just I mean the psychological weight that is on not only Brittany Griner's mind, but her family, her teammates. Like that, the tribute really captured just how heavy of a weight it was for so many people. And so shout out to her.
It's
She's doing well.
amazing. I will say it's amazing. Like if you think about it, she was in a prison that she didn't know she was going to get out of, and she's home. And she's back here hooping at a professional level. And I think people don't realize it. I've never been through anything traumatic like that, and I hope to never understand it. But I can just imagine like the flashbacks, the nightmares that like I'm sure they did not treat her well. I'm sure she got punched in the mouth a couple times. You're in a prison in a rough country that doesn't like Americans, and you stick out. They
And you
probably
don't speak their language.
don't speak their language. People mistreat you. Nobody cares. Everybody knows that nobody cares. Nothing's coming for you. You're a filthy American as far as they're concerned. I don't know how you bounce back and you just get back to going with your life. I do like the way she's speaking. I like the fact she wrote the book. She said, "Look, read the book. You find out about what happened." But I take my hat off to Brittany Griner.
No, I take it out too. So shout out to Brittany, man, and shout out to WNBA, off to a very good start. Brianna Stewart had a 45-point game. That's right, 45. She put up in Jordan numbers, 45. And so it's off to a great start, man. So please, 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 let me look right here in this camera. Which camera's on? That right there? Let me look right into this camera. Please, don't talk about it, be about it. In this episode of Freestyle, it ain't going to cost you nothing extra to watch a WNBA game. You already been paid for whatever cable package you have, and it's there. Go support the sport. That's the only way we can get to the point where there is pay equity. That's the only way we can get to the point where the networks are going to showcase these games in primetime slots. It's the only way we're going to get to the point where these players, even off the court, are getting opportunities and getting signature shoe deals and getting, like it shouldn't just be the one player in the WNBA with a signature shoe. There should be several players, especially when you see the quality of the product on the floor. There are women playing this game, and yes, they are a different gender, but it ain't a different game. Like they are playing the game just the same way as men are playing it. They got the high school girl now, two-hand dunks. The game is getting better and better and better. If you look at the improvement year over year, WNBA versus almost any other sport, it is amazing to see the level of improvement year over year. And so it's up to us. It ain't gonna cost you nothing, but a little bit of your time. It's up to us to go support the sport. And I'm done with mine. That's my TED Talk. NHL, just a quick update, man, so everyone knows. NHL, Dallas, because we talk about freestyle, right? We talk about those teams on the brink of being swept. Dallas fought back, man. Dallas said, the Dallas Stars did fend off in overtime the Vegas Golden Knights. And so that will go on to a game 5. My Panthers, the Florida Panthers, baby. We swept as an 8 seed and swept the Carolina Hurricanes. And so we will wait to see what happens in the West. The Eastern Conference Final was swept and won by the Florida Panthers. And so, interesting time of the year where you got the NBA Finals about to happen.
I would like y'all to comment on the thing and tell me, Bobby sounded convincing like he really give a shit. I want you to comment whether you think he really cares about that little hockey thing. Because he sounded, you know what I mean? Like if you didn't know better, I would think he, you know what I'm saying? He don't claim the Florida Panthers.
I've even watched a few MLB games this year, man. Which is easier to watch because it's speeded up. But I'm trying, man.
Life is about growth.
And it ain't about me. It's about our audience because it's where sports, business, and entertainment collide as the Ball Hog Sports Talk, right?
Are you entertained by hockey?
I entertain a few businessmen. Get together to discuss sports in an entertaining fashion. So if NHL is entertaining enough to talk about it, we going to do it. MLB, we going to do it. Matter of fact, you got Formula One, F1, which is very entertaining. The top dollar, big money. You got the Monaco Grand Prix happening this weekend, and so that's about it, man. And we'll have our Ball Hog Spotlight moment. Was there anything that you wanted to talk? I got one in my back pocket. I got a special one in my back pocket. Anything? You got them?
skip me. I'll come back to me.
Skip you.
Skip, go to you. And
go to
then,
me. All right. So
then,
mine is going to be a shared one because this weekend is going to highlight the last day of the European League, all the different European leagues, soccer or football. Let me respect it enough to call it what it is. European football. It's an interesting weekend because you got a lot of clubs that are fighting for something, right? But the way it happens there is a team can be relegated to a lower league. And I think when we talk about teams tanking and draft picks here in these Neanderthal American sports, we've struggled with how do you keep a team engaged that has nothing to play for. And so the way they do it there, you can get relegated. So it's going to be a very interesting, exciting weekend. And I know enough to be dangerous when it comes to European soccer or football. But I know somebody who knows some things about soccer. I keep an ace in the hole, my brother. And so with no further ado, I want to introduce to the Ball Hawk Sports Talk my man. See, we have a research team, and we're going to bring the research team to the front of the congregation to help me with this coverage.
Is that what we're doing?
We do. Come on.
I got mine too. I got one too.
You got one too?
Hello.
My man, Matt. What's up, big Matt? How you doing, brother?
You didn't know we had a production team back there.
Yeah, you know I'm in the back, but we brought you to the front because I'm talking about soccer, and I don't really know enough to talk about soccer. So
that's one of my things.
I got you here. You're gonna help me out. Well, what is this weekend all about? Are there any particular games in any European leagues worth discussing? Sometimes it's better to know the man next to the man. So I'm bringing the man next to the man out. Help us with some of this European soccer coverage.
This is certainly going to be a very fun weekend in European soccer. So you always have the last weekend of league play. So you got the drama, you got the teams that get relegated, you got teams that could potentially win the league, and we got some big storylines coming off. We'll start off with the lows. I mean, if we go to England, we have the team that won the league in 2015, Leicester City, that could potentially get relegated. There's a big chance, a very good chance, that they are going to go down after winning the league about 10 years ago.
Do teams consider that embarrassing? I mean, I'm assuming like that's going from varsity to JV. Basically.
It's a shock. I mean, Leicester winning the league in 2015-16 was a shock in and of itself. I mean, they are a small team that just won the league out of seemingly nowhere. Nobody expected it. The chances of them winning the league before the year was, I think, 5,000 to 1 were the odds, and then they won the league. So it was a fairy tale run then. So it's still shocking to see a team that won the league as little as 7 or 8 years ago. Now they could get relegated to the lower leagues, and that's definitely shocking and it's sad to see. But if we go from another perspective, teams that could win the league, we got to go to Germany for this one. This team, Bayern Munich, they have won the league 10 years in a row. They are the second best team in the world by the coefficients, and they can lose in their league. They're down by 2. They're losing their league by 2 points. And if the team who's currently winning the league, Borussia Dortmund, their arch rival, wins this weekend, which they're projected to do, it'll be the first time in a decade since Bayern Munich have lost the league. So it's a shock right now, and I'm really looking forward to watching soccer this weekend. Although my team, Arsenal, who were leading in England for the longest time, bottled the league and did lose.
Those are the teams that I hear about. The European League is the one I hear about the most.
Yeah,
and like Arsenal, there's some famous names. You see the paraphernalia being donned by people just walking through the sports streets. But it's cool to know that all of these other countries have their respective leagues, and that people. Where do you watch? Like, just in case I do have some downtime this weekend, where would one go? Do you go to like a sports bar to watch it? You watch it from home? I know that they've done a good job. They, being American networks, have done a good job of creating more of a platform for us to watch this international soccer, European football. But usually
I watch from home. But there's some good sports bars that you can go watch some soccer with a lot of great people. I remember when it was England versus Italy in the the Euro Cup final a few years back.
Mm-hmm.
I remember I went to a sports bar with some of my friends, and it was a really great time. It was a bunch of England fans, and they were really sad that England lost, but it was a really good game, and the atmosphere is great. I mean, soccer is a growing sport, and even if we talk about from a U.S. perspective too, I mean, we got some really exciting United States news that happened in soccer, where this one player, Folarin Balogun, who's a very good striker in his own right, declared his nationality. He had this choice between Nigeria, England, and the United States because he was born in New York City. He chose to represent the United States on an international level, which is
now I feel like I'm in. No, I knew that story. All right, cool.
It's huge news, because this means the United States national team can actually get to a point where they can be a big team, and we're seeing soccer really start to develop a lot more in the United States, and it's a really great thing. So I'm really excited about it because soccer, probably my second sport, is definitely my second sport. I love watching soccer though.
Good stuff, man.
I do think it's amazing that, and I didn't really realize that until I got an opportunity to travel to Spain this year, that they had the European League, the Spain League, the German League. They had the different leagues for all these countries, and then they come together and play. That would be like NFL,
XFL,
United States,
USFL,
NFL Canada, NFL Mexico, NFL, Cuba, and then they all come together. That's pretty awesome when you think about it.
It is. I think that we might be heading that direction.
No.
Yeah, I mean,
well, maybe not football, but I think it's easier to do. It's probably going to be very doable in basketball.
That's what I was going to say.
Yeah, you look at the Africa League, NBA Africa.
It would be tough too if we start not getting. It depends on the finances because. I mean, some of our best players are international. If they stop coming here and they start developing their leagues, I mean,
people don't realize how big EuroLeague is.
I'm sure the Lakers would have liked that this year.
People don't realize how big EuroLeague is. I mean, the crowds at EuroLeague games are absolutely insane.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I will try to check some of it out. Matt, I threw you in the hot seat impromptu. You didn't know this was going to happen today. Matt is a communications radio guru student, but also our research team, man. So great job today, brother. Great job.
Thank you.
Big Flow Show. Your turn now, man.
Adrian Peterson said he's not retired, man. I appreciate him for that. Bears might should pick him up. He said not retired.
What's the meme where nobody asked you and then you said like that's Adrian Peterson right now. Ain't nobody asked you.
Hey, by the way, I'm not retired. By the way, nobody cares. But I'm not retired. I'm still available, man.
He's a 38-year-old that haven't retired yet.
He's got some financial stuff he's got to work on. So he get another year out of it. But go ahead, Adrian Peterson. You know what? I'm not retired either. Anybody looking for a player?
I'm actually declaring for the NBA draft.
Are you declaring as well?
I'm declaring for the NBA draft.
I should declare for the draft because I technically never put my name in it.
LeBron did on social media tease. He said, "How does the rule work if I wanted to go back to college? Could I have eligibility in any other sport?" And had a picture of him.
J.R. Smith did it.
J.R. Smith.
He went and golfed. That's about the only sport I think any one of them should be talking about. Yeah. I'll go back and golf, but other than that, shut up.
Yeah, LeBron could play football. I don't. LeBron could play college football. Put him as a running back. He's still stronger than everybody else. I mean,
he's 38 years old.
He can play tight end.
Hasn't been his.
You look at LeBron. You look at LeBron running. Like he just runs the court, and he's still like people just get out of his way because they know he's 38 years old, but he's still
basketball players get out of his way. Right, just like, so you know that.
Yeah,
Hoopers are getting out of his way. There's a lot of people in the NFL who be like, "I'm not moving, man. Ain't no charges in football."
I remember when NFL teams tried to get Zion Williamson to declare for the NFL draft.
He'd be a Hall of Fame defensive end.
He played tight end too. I mean,
I like to see him come off that edge. He's so explosive. Yeah.
Well, it has been quite the show. We have named it Free Style because we did want to, first of all, let you know that is the one thing that is free. Your style, how you carry yourself, what you wear, how you treat other people. It doesn't cost you anything, and you don't owe an explanation. And the reason we did that today is because this is our last Friday of May, Mental Health Awareness Month. And with all the craziness going on around us, we wanted to show our own awareness that there are people struggling and wanted to give you encouragement. Make sure you take advantage of the free style. It ain't gonna cost you nothing. Be unapologetically you, whatever that is. And that is more than enough. And with that, it's been a great, great, great show. We're gonna get out of here for the week. Make sure that you like, comment, share. Tag a friend, tag a foe, tag anybody that you know, and please subscribe to both the YouTube channel and the podcast. 2 of the 3 of us were here today. The Big Flow Show's in the building. Y'all got to meet the research team. He's interning with us, doing great things in college, home for the summer, and got an opportunity to make a cameo here on the Ball Hog Sports Talk. So it was a good time. I am your boy, B Brown, ESQ, a.k.a. the Ball Hog, a.k.a. the Mouth of the South, a.k.a. Mr. Excessive Celebration, a.k.a. Brazy. This has been our show. This was the freestyle episode of the Ball Hog Sports Talk. And with that, we is out. Peace.